CFFC 118 goes down on April 1st here in a couple of weeks, and competing on the main card of that event is my next guest, and he joins me today. His name is Charlie C4 Alexander. So, Mr. Alexander, welcome to my show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I've heard about you for a while, and it's an honor to be on your show. So I appreciate it.
Well, I just wanted to come out and say Nashville MMA. I've talked to several of your teammates before. I'm really impressed. Like, you guys are like this like grindy gym that a lot of people don't really talk about too much. You and Derek are both going to be competing. There's a card on the 31st, and then there's a card on the first. So I really quickly just kind of wanted to say you and Derek are going into Philadelphia. Like, I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to just say it. Not a lot of people are going to be going for you guys. Like, he's fighting Fernandez. You're fighting Mantello. Both of these guys are like, New York, New Jersey guys. Like, you're going to go into a hostile environment. Is that something that like you're excited about? Like, what are your emotions? Like, how do you approach a fight knowing that, aside from your coaches, there might be like maybe one or two people in the entire like stadium or arena that actually want to see you win?
Yeah, it's going to be a little different because the last maybe 3, 4 of my fights have been here in Nashville. I've been the hometown, hero for a minute, and I'm kind of tired of that. Honestly, I like traveling to fight because sleeping in my bed, kind of being comfortable on fight night, training at my gym, and things like that. I want to go out and fight other people. The fights that I've had where I traveled and fought in other people's hometown works out good for me. I'm very excited about this. I've never been to Philadelphia. I'm excited to go up there. I hear they're really nice people up there. And yeah, like you said, it's going to be probably not too many people there to support me from that area. But I do have a crowd that follows me. I have some fans there. I have some family there. And I'm excited. But I embrace it. I enjoy it. I can't wait to go out there and show these people what the Southern boys are about.
So tell me if this is bullshit or not. And if it is, then I don't have a problem being told I'm wrong. Oftentimes I'll hear fighters in your situation that go into events like this knowing they're like, hey, I'm the blue corner for this one or whatever. I have to get a finish. Like, if this goes to a decision, like, I'm probably going to get screwed. Is there truth to that? Or is that something that a lot of fighters just kind of like make up in their heads? And I'm curious, you've been doing this for a very long time. You've been a professional for many years. I'm just curious to hear your opinion on if there's validity in that, in your opinion, or if that's kind of an old wives' tale.
I think there's a little bit of both because I have been robbed in my own hometown where I was a hometown guy and I feel like I clearly won a decision. If you go watch the fight, me versus David Robbins, and I lost. And so I'd say there's some truth, but also I think what kind of like plays a big role in that is the crowd. So if the crowd is more behind somebody, that's going to sway the judges because I've done some judging and things like that before. So I understand the judges do get swayed by um, things that don't really matter, like crowd noise and stuff like that. So that is in the back of my head a bit. But any fight that I fight, I want to finish. Like 3 out of my last 4, I finished, and that's how you get to the next level. You don't. I had a talk with my teammates last night about just winning isn't enough. If you are 15-0 with 12 decisions, 13 decisions, it doesn't. You're not going to get there. If you go out there and you're 8-0, 7-0 and you're finishing people, you'll be in the UFC. Look at Trevor Peete. I mean, he's a prime example of getting to the next level just based off finishes. So that's what I'm looking to do. Obviously, if you watch me fight, I'm a technical, smart fighter. I don't go out there and be wild, but I do expect to finish, especially this fight April 1st. So.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the man that you'll be sharing the cage with. I know Dylan Mantello a little bit. From what I see from Dylan, he is a tall, rangy type of guy. He's a very good striker. He can do a lot of things really well. I'm curious to get your assessment on your opponent and what you think about him based off of some of the things that you've seen on the tape.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be a solid guy. He comes from a good gym. He's got good striking. He's long. He's athletic. I'm ready for all that. I brought in some training partners for this fight because a lot of our fighters at our gym are kind of built like me. Like we have a lot of 35ers, 45ers, 55ers, and then it jumps up to like 85. So a lot of our guys are kind of small, compact guys. So I've been doing some cross training. I brought some guys in that are basically identical to Dylan. So feeling good, man. My range is there. My timing is there. I feel very, very comfortable fighting strikers. I like fighting strikers. So I'm excited about the matchup. I think he's good. Much respect for him. I think he's good at some stuff. I think I'm good at some stuff. um, he comes from a good gym. I come from a good gym. So just excited to see what happens. And we're just going to see who the dog is probably that night. So I think that's how the fight's going to go. He knows I'm good. I know he's good. And it's going to be who wants it more at the end of the day. So
One of the questions that I had for you kind of going into this whole bout is, like I said, Dylan, very technical, like he's a very technical striker. He does so many good things. And I like watching him. Like he's exciting to watch. I like watching you. You guys are both like you stylistically complement each other. I think it's an excellent matchup. And when I saw this bout get announced, I circled it right away. I was like, that's going to be one that you're going to want to have your ass on your couch for. You aren't going to want to get up and get pizza or beer or whatever when this fight's on. I'm expecting this to be a very high level, very exciting fight. Charlie, what do you need to do in your mind to get the win over a high caliber opponent like this?
I just got to get in there and be dirty, man. Like you said, he's a technical fighter. I fight better fighting a technical fighter. Like if it's somebody that's a big brawler that comes and throws like awkward haymaking punches and stuff like that from weird angles, that's kind of a harder fight. He's a crisp boxer. He's got good punches. He loves a jumping knee. He likes stuff like that. So, you know, I can't really say too much because I don't want to get my game plan out there, but I love the matchup. I like his style. I like his fighting style, but I think it matches up with my style really well. But at the end of the day, the way that I fight is every little battle, whether it's grabbing your wrist, I'm going to win that battle. Whether it's or you're trying to stop my takedown, I'm going to win that battle. You're trying to jab me, I'm going to slip, I'm going to jab you. Like every little battle, I want to win every. Obviously, you can't win every single one, but that's my mindset. Every single little fight within the fight, I need to win and I want to win, and just simultaneously, systematically break you down.
You have been a mainstay on the fight scene for many years. A win over Dylan Mantello, that's a big deal because number one, Dylan's a very high level fighter in my opinion. But for you, it would make it your 10th. It'd make for your 10th pro win. That's a very big deal over an opponent on a card of this magnitude. And I kind of want to like ask you like, is this kind of what you think that you need to do? Like you need to have Dylan's name on your resume to prove to people that you're ready for that next level. You're ready for Bellator, PFL, or the UFC. Is that kind of what you were envisioning, like when you accepted this bout? Like, hey, this is kind of what I need to get that bump up.
Yeah, I mean, after my last fight, I mean, the guy that I fought didn't have a great record, but he's a good fighter. If you go look at the guy, he's fought several guys that are in the UFC or high level guys. He's kind of one of those guys where I told him, you just need to be a little bit more picky with your fights and, not just accept any type of fight. But after that fight, I was like, and that wasn't my first choice. I was fighting a Bellator vet in my last fight. So after that fight was over, I told my manager, Steve Swedish, like, we got to start fighting people with like names or that are going to get me recognized. That way I can get to that next level. And he knows, everybody knows I'm ready to be there. I just have to put myself in that position. And I know I hate to say it, like I love being around my hometown and stuff like that, but I don't want to be a hometown hero. Mm-hmm. I want to make it to the level. I want to be there. I want to stay there. I want to show people that you can make it. And I've been doing this since 2009. So I got a lot of miles on my body. I feel great. I feel better than I ever have. Very, very confident, very strong. Everything's coming together for me. But yeah, I need to get to that next level. Like something that is in the back of my head has been bothering me is the Ultimate Fighter that just came out. They had my weight division, and I knew when I applied, I was like, if they pick lightweights, I'm in. I know I'm going to be in. And I didn't even get nothing. So I got a chip on my shoulder about that. So I'm just going to come out here and knock this guy off and see what happens from there. If I'm not there yet, which I probably won't be because I'll have to beat somebody else probably, and I'm just going to knock them off till I get there. So
you've been on the scene for a while. You've strung together wins, and you're an exciting fighter. And one of the things that kind of when I think about like you being in your athletic prime. I think about somebody who's been in several fights, but also has that kind of like sense of urgency about them. Like, okay, listen, I know that the clock's ticking. I know we're burning daylight here. And I also know that I can only do this in a limited window in my life. Like, you realistically have 5 years left. I'm ballparking it a little bit. It's different for everyone. You have 5 years left where you can compete at an elite level. So I kind of wanted to ask you, in your mind, why should a big promotion like Bellator, PFL, UFC, like, why are you their guy? Like, why are you, of all the 55ers, that's a deep class. If I could go to anywhere in the country, like, sell me on why I should bring you into my promotion.
Well, my fighting skills, I feel like I'm very skilled. I've been in this game for a long time. Um, I'm pretty respectful. I got a dirty side to me where I can get a little mouthy and I can rise to the occasion and talk a little crap, but that's not what I like to do. I don't like to go into a fight and be emotional and there's guys that punch themselves. I don't go in there. I don't have any ill will against my opponent. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to be better than you. I'm going to beat you. That's all I want to do. So that, and I just feel like I want to be a role model for people. I'm a police officer. I've been a police officer for almost 10 years now. I work at the State Police Academy now, where my job is to go train police officers. And I set an example there. I try to set an example at my gym. I just try to be a good guy. I know the cool thing to do now is be a bad guy and wear your flashy clothes and get your flashy cars and do this and do that. And that's not me. I'm a family man. I got a baby. I have a girlfriend. I try to set a good example, and be a good guy. And I hope that's still works. That doesn't set me back in it, and it might not, but that's just how I roll. And I want to be a role model, and I want to show you can be a dog in that cage, but you can be a man and set a good example outside of the cage as well.
To me, it's be true to yourself. Like, you can't go in there pretending to be somebody that you're not. Like, that might work for a little while, but people see through that phoniness real quick. And I think that's really the only right thing to do. It's like, if you are a bad guy, like if you are that shit talking type, and if that's in your personality, you should go do that. But if that's not you,
Yeah.
don't try to emulate something that you're not. And I think,
and a lot of people do, and it doesn't look good.
no.
And I mean, I grew a lot. I'm 32 years old now. I grew up in a not the best neighborhood. I'm not going to give you a sob story about being poor and all that crap as a kid, but I came up in a rough area. I went to a rough high school and saw a lot of bad things growing up. And I can remember when I turned 18 years old that I decided, I'm going to change the dynamic of my family and just get out of this and make it to and be successful in one thing or another. And that's one thing that I've always been able to do is remember where I come from and make it and make something of it and be successful. No matter what I try to do, I try to always be successful. And it's worked so far, and it's worked good for me. So that's what I'm going to continue to try to do. And fighting is my number one passion outside of family. But that's what I want to do. And, I don't want to look back on my life and wish I would have done this, wish I would have done that. That's why I leave my house at 5:30 in the morning, go to work, and I don't get home till about 8:30 p.m. after training, and there's 2-3 training sessions in between that. So like you said, the clock's ticking, and I know that, and I'm ready for that. And I'm not going to let this slip through my fingers.
Charlie, I want to give you the final word. I know that you have a lot of people that work with you to make sure that you're primed and ready to go. So if you need to shout those people out or thank anybody, I'd like to give you the opportunity to do that before I let you go.
All right. So first off, I'd like to thank you for having me, my family for supporting me, my girlfriend for doing everything that she does on a daily basis to getting my meals ready and making sure everything's taken care of. My team at Nashville MMA, too many people to name, but all my training partners that I've been cross-training with as well around the Nashville area and the people that I've brought in. My coach, Dustin Ortiz, that has been really helping me put my game together. Chiro Strength, which is a chiropractor that's based out of Nashville MMA that's been working wonders. Obviously, through training camp, we're going to get bumps and bruises and things like that, and he keeps me going. And Compass Human Performance also, Dr. Howard, he's got me feeling better than ever with supplementation and things like that, where, I'm 2 weeks out and I feel like I could fight tomorrow, and I feel good. I feel ready. So that's pretty much it for all my thank yous.
Perfect. Well, Charlie, I wish you the best of luck on the first. You're a very, very exciting fighter. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.